But you need to stay strong because we'll play some rugby now. Rugby in Africa are developing, and Nigeria also trying to be part of the mix. You know what? The country has been put on standby to host the 2016 African Rugby Cup 1C, just in case Morocco fails to meet the requirements for the competition. Nigeria lost the bid to the North African country due to security reasons. So that's members of the Black Stallions and Nigeria's men's national rugby team. I mean, this will give us another opportunity to talk rugby. It will be special if Nigeria eventually hosts an African rugby competition.
It's going to be extra special. I remember a colleague of ours, getting close to me and looking at me reading this story and say, oh, Nigeria plays on standby for what? Is it football again? I said, no, it's not football. And I mentioned the sport. He hears that they walked away.
Look at that.
You know, that's the apathy that we have for this sport. But it's interesting with all the things that we're doing. It's too early to start beginning to say, oh, I want us to be like South Africa. I want us to be like Namibia. I mean, those East African countries that are very good with rugby. But you see, we need to just climb gradually. I always believe, and this, if Morocco fails, they've not failed totally, but if they fail to meet their hosting obligations, it will come to Nigeria, and that gives us an opportunity maybe to use this to climb, do well. It's a sport where we have the basics. We have the basics, just facilities, trainers, exposure, maybe those things added. But we have the basics. We have strong lads. We have guys who are quick on their feet. So by the time you look all of that, those are the necessary ingredients for the sports. But you look at the trainers, those who will train them. You look at all the facilities. Do we have them? And of course, administration too. You have to look at that as well.
Put that in the mix. That's right. And Olawale, yes, a lot of people say it's rugby. Nigeria shouldn't be part of it. I keep telling people, you're wrong. Because we used to do so well in rugby, but as Yemi says, the awareness that has the problem. So we need to inject public interest into it. And that means we must be top-notch with administration, we must be top-notch with infrastructure, and then hosting this competition can actually help.
I think it goes way to the top. Remember last year was a year where the House of Rugby was divided.
That's right.
The Friends of Rugby, the this, the that. I thought that the ministry helped them settle all of the differences, but we haven't had much. I think this is what brings them to the limelight once again. But you ask yourself, where can we even host tournaments? I think the last place I saw rugby was at National Stadium. I don't know if the National Stadium is ready to host this kind of tournament. That's where you get most of the rugby tournaments. I know that there are a couple of tournaments also in the northern part of the country. But we've got what it takes. I think we've got talents. I was opportune to watch a rugby tournament that featured around 6 clubs from various parts in Nigeria, and they played some wonderful stuff. Not world-class rugby, but it's for a start. I think that Nigerians don't even, or most Nigerians don't also know that rugby has various formats. I think 2 formats: the rugby sevens and the standard rugby. So it starts from here. I think if the layman doesn't even know what rugby is itself, when he feels that rugby is a rough sport, not knowing that rugby is also a gentleman's sport, that's where the problem starts. So sensitization is very key. When we host tournaments like this and we don't carry Nigerians along, I don't think that we've achieved the sole aim of rugby development in Nigeria.
That's right. We can only talk about it here. Over to you guys at the Nigeria Rugby Football Federation. We need to do more to, get the public involved, do more, in terms of generating interest and organize more competitions. We shouldn't wait until the African Cup or one big tournament is upcoming before we start talking about rugby. So that's it. Let's go on a break now. When we come back, we'll talk about football. We'll go to Washington, D.C., talk to Sonny Young, and then get you talking also. Don't go anywhere. Stay.
In politics, a day is a long time in FIFA politics. When I left Australia on Sunday, we had 3 candidates here today, a video from a 4th candidate, a live global broadcast from the global sports giant ESPN, 2 moderators, and attendance from journalists from the UK, Denmark, the Netherlands, Nigeria, Qatar, China, Japan, Australia, and the USA. More than 24 hours later, when I arrived in Belgium, we had 1 candidate, no ESPN, no moderators, and journalists falling away like flies.
When I was a candidate the first time, and I launched myself in January 2014 in the shark pool of the British media in London, I said, I want some debates for the future of FIFA. It's not about gaining votes. It's about starting rebuilding the link between the governance of football, the governing of body of football, and the people of football, the fans. If I'm here today and in my second campaign, I claimed again that we need to have this debate. It's not about gaining votes. It's about speaking openly, disagreeing on some issue, and as I said, I disagreed on some.
That's it. We'll get ready for the FIFA presidential elections, and that's a debate where Jerome Champagne, giving his own views, saying what he hopes to bring to FIFA. We've been hearing all of these talks, guys, but we'll get to know very soon. The time is fast approaching. We'll get to know who gets to lead FIFA.
Yeah, we'll see. But I think there's going to be some drama before that election date. Maybe one or two guys might just be thrown off the race. I think that there's something's going to happen shortly. But of course, it's going to be interesting to see how the race goes.
Okay.
Don't forget that there's also been talk that FIFA should probably change its name. Jerome Champagne was the only one there. Prince Ali said he couldn't be there because he thought that it was against FIFA rules or FIFA campaigning rules. But I thought it should have been an opportunity to also try to let the world know your programs for FIFA, especially as FIFA goes into a transitional period, because it's time that FIFA has a clean break. And you look at these candidates, they look like something that represents a clean break from football. Maybe Jerome Champagne, who has got ties with Sepp Blatter, but the other guys, I'm not saying that everybody's innocent. But
Jerome seems to be the more adventurous of all of them. He's saying, look, if you elect me, Qatar will not host. I mean, he's been making statements that you would see that he wants to rock the boat. He's not going to allow things to remain the way they are. Some of the other guys have been a bit conservative in terms of, the issues about the hosting. But Champagne has criticized everything, the bid process. He said, look, if I'm there, we'll have to, sit down and talk about Qatar again. I'm very sure people in Qatar would not love to hear that. So a whole lot of things. I would have loved to see where the five of them, sit down, go at each other. You said you're going to do this. Is it possible? Maybe someone just take up how Khalifa and say, where did you come about with the business FIFA and the political FIFA? But I also think that sponsors are getting more powerful. And they will play a key role.
That's right.
Back in the day where they would drop their money and somebody sees
a lot of questions will be asked and you need to answer them.
A lot of questions, and it's going to be more open.
That's right. I'll get back to you guys. Let's dash to Washington, D.C. Sonny Young is standing by to give us updates from his side also. That's right. Sonny Young, good to have you on the show.
Thank you, Austin. Great to be back on Sports Tonight.
That's
and
right.
Hello to all your Sports Tonight viewers.